just a few minutes or a minute or two, make sure there's more people not chiming in. All right, so welcome to session 3 of my Camp Zombie live stream. My name is Kyle Gentry. I'm a character designer and concept artist and character illustrator. This is the third week of this series. I've been designing characters for a fictitious show called Camp Zombie. It's about a little boy named Venny who befriends a zombie at a camp. And the zombie doesn't eat brains, he eats ice cream. He got terminal brain freeze from some ice cream he ate 50 years before. So it'll be a lot of fun. So just stay with me. And this week we're going to be doing something kind of fun. Instead of doing characters, this week we're going to be designing one of the props. Because it's set in the Everglades, we're going to do a airboat bus kind of a thing. It's going to be a lot of fun, so we'll do that. I'm going to keep it a little bit shorter this time. Maybe up to an hour this time, not an hour and a half. There's a lot going on here at the house, so got to respect the time and all that. So anyhow, let's get started. So one of the things that I did was I got some reference material to help me out. So this is just some reference for like what an airboat looks like, and there's some different things about it. I also looked at what like old-timey, like beaten up old buses look like and things like that to give me an idea for reference for just how buses used to look, because I don't want a modern bus. I want it to look old and kind of junky. Maybe put a massive overhauled engine on it. And it did give me an idea for another character to create, and that's the actual bus driver. Maybe he's like kind of a NASCAR kind of a guy, like a southern, like atypical guy that likes NASCAR, and he always wanted to be a NASCAR driver, but he drives an airboat, so he's got it all souped up, and it's long, and so it's going to be a lot of fun. So we're gonna have some fun with this, and I'm gonna try it a little bit differently this time and do some flatting first. Just some blocking out stuff and get the silhouette down, because if you can understand the silhouette of a character or an object, no matter how much detail's in it, it will always translate well. So I'll show you what I mean. So we're gonna see. Yeah, let's not that brush. Let's go to, yeah, that'll work. So if you look here, I'm gonna take and carry one of these photos over. Carry one of those over and change the size a little bit, just small enough just to look at it. It should be a lot of fun. So we're going to create, and the character's name, the character that drives the boat, Slider Watkins is what I'm thinking of, like something like he's got a nickname and then a normal last name. But we'll do it in silhouette first. So we've got the fan. If you're looking at it in silhouette profile, just from the side, you've got the kind of rectangular shape for the fan, and maybe it's got the spinner that the blades are sitting on. You've got kind of the cage that's right here. And I envision maybe kind of this, it's got this blade right here that helps direct it. It's directed by a dude up here in the seat. Maybe I make that thing like super huge. And I put it on the same layer, so let's get rid of that. There we go. Okay. Maybe it's super huge. Super huge fan blades. Some kind of a cutout right here so that they move around the axle. I don't know what the proper terminology of this is. Probably something I should look up, but And we're going super rough. Like, this is super scribbly, super rough. Doesn't have to be anything great. But I will open up, let me open up the characters so I've got those, because even the characters need to be referenced. Like, I need to be watching the characters as far as it comes up on design. I need to make sure the characters look like they fit in the prop stuff too. So this is what we designed last week. So there's Vinny, and let me pull him up because Vinny needs to be on the other page just so I can reference back to him. Oop. I didn't know he was on the same layer. How about that? Let's get rid of him. Yep, so there's Vinny. Okay, so we're going to go back and we've got this. Oh, yeah. Oops. There we go. So we've got this profile, right? And from the side, that tells you everything you need to know about whatever you're drawing. You can see, like, up here on the reference, it's got kind of a... And I'm going straight off the reference right now, but... I'll change it up as we go. Like this, I'm just trying to get a good feel for... Chair goes right around here. You know, some kind of engine down here. And this is the base profile, so it's got kind of a handle that, you know, takes care of everything. And I'm going to be cartooning it more as I go, of course. But, you know, like I said, I'm going to do rows of seats. And there were boats that I found, that had rows of seats, like touring airboats and things like that. But that was just a little too on the nose. I wanted to create something that was new. And we got to put the camp logo, of course, on the fan. The fan, whatever that is, the big blade that turns it. And you might hear my dog whining in the background. My wife is on a Zoom call, so apologies if you hear my dog. He's not happy about being in his crate right now, so. And he hears me, and he's a daddy's boy. All right, so we've got basically this kind of side view. And like I said, I'm roughing things out like super duper rough. It doesn't have to be something super special right now. This is just for me. This is the kind of stuff that you wouldn't necessarily show clients. This is just so you can figure out ideas. So we're gonna... And we're having lots of fun with layers. Okay. There we go. Got everything figured out for my layers. And also, if you have any questions or anything like that, that's art related or related to animation or character design or anything, please feel free. I will be happy to answer anything that you put as much as I can inside the comment section. Right, so we've got this basic profile of an airboat. Like I said, it's profile. So we'll take this, and I'm gonna... Man, I'm just hitting it on all cylinders for getting the layers wrong tonight. It's just one of those days. Had a super busy day. There we go. Okay. So we're going to take this and just stick it up here just to kind of reference it. Make it a little thumbnail. Because that's all I'm doing right now is thumbnails. These little thumbnail things just for me. Just so I can figure out, you know, if I like certain things. So now that I've got that as a base reference, or for my own drawing as a base reference, now I can really go to town and play with the shapes a little bit more. make the start playing with the engine. You know, I'm not opposed to making like a jet engine either. We've got, you know, the fans going on. Those of you that have seen Disney's original The Rescuers, Medusa and that Madame Medusa had a car that she'd turned into an airboat for the swamp that had a big jet engine on the back of it that was kind of cool. So I may go into that a little bit. And it's got to be, this has got to be super long because it's like a school bus. So I also have reference for buses, like actual old buses that I'm going to look at too. So I'll get the basic shape down and we'll figure it out as we go. You know, again, got to get the logo back there. And there's subtle differences now. Now I'm just playing with, right now, just very subtle differences. I want to get the seats kind of in descending order, so to make it a little more dangerous at the front for whatever kids are riding in the front. Because the cool kids always ride in the back of the bus, right? I don't know. I never rode the school bus really. You'll have to tell me. And I still haven't come up with a name for the camp, so that'll be one of those things that we'll figure out as we go. Okay, so we've got two that are similar, and I don't want to spend all my time doing similar stuff, so I'm going to delete this and just focus on the engine compartment. All right. So we've got and it's kind of crappy. You know, like I said, I want it to be a little bit run down and riveted and maybe made of pieces that are falling apart. So we're working on maybe a more of a jet engine looking thing now, or a combination of both, a jet engine and a fan blade or something. Be kind of cool. Got these kind of exhaust pipes maybe. It needs to have, I want it to have maybe a little bit of a Frankenstein look to it. Maybe this thing back here, the actual propulsion part of it actually spins up and down, and the whole thing is on a rotation, like a rotating platform on top of the boat. So it will spin like this and then like this, and that's how the stick controls everything. So alright, and I do have a, you'll have to bear with me too, I do have a new version of Clip Studio Paint I'm running right now that I got that is awesome, but a few of the icons look different now, and I'm getting used to how things look, so pardon my dust. Alright, there we go. Maybe it's still got a fan that everything's attached to. Like I said, super rough sketch. Not going for, you know, it's just hinted at detail. I'm just throwing lines down and we'll figure that out as we go. It's not. And wiring. Maybe those big old exhausts that has like the perforated holes like Swiss cheese. Because even though I don't know the actual terms, I got one friend that I'm on PlayStation with sometimes that could tell me the actual terms of all the parts of the engines. I know the shape, and that's everything for me is shape, because it's shape language. It's how all this stuff communicates. And maybe it's a Frankenstein jet engine plus the prop. I mean, that would be hilarious, right? Yeah, I can hear my dog whining already, so apologies if you hear him. He can hear me and he gets upset. So. Okay. So we're basically designing engines for this thing right now. It's kind of cool. Maybe I'll work on a front end or something. Maybe it's got a more of a. As I look at my reference, it's got kind of these really cool old 1950s front ends that maybe he's taken apart and you know. Taken. Of course it didn't copy. Doggone it. Let's bring it down here in the corner. And I'm only on an 8x10 page. That's what I've given myself, so we'll deal with that as we go. So I'm going to pop that front end on there somehow. I'm going to jerry rig that around a little bit and make it work. So like I said, I'm only working in profile at the moment. We're going to take pieces of it and pieces of other vehicles that I've seen. Maybe it's got, you know, it's got this little kind of headlight that sticks up a little bit. We'll play with that. Maybe it's got some hilarious hood ornament. Ooh, I like that shape. That's cool. So in profile, it's got kind of this car shape. You know, it would go right around here on it. Maybe he's actually physically yanked a piece of this thing out. You know, maybe it's only got one headlight on one side or something. Figure something funny out for. Yeah, that's cool. It's going to be fun. So it's got kind of this front end going on right here. So let's. When I say Frankenstein, I'm literally going to put all these pieces together and then use that. It's going to be kind of fun. So let's take this piece. Sometimes this works. I tend to work in a cohesive design, but if I want something to look really Frankenstein, I'll draw on separate parts without worrying about the final design and worry about how to get it all together at the end. That's how I really make it look Frankenstein. I've seen other artists do that. Some artists will poo-poo that idea and just say, you know, oh, that's not a cohesive design. And that's okay. my visual workspace. Yeah, not liking this part of it though. That's not working. Yeah, it's starting to come together a little bit better. Not too small. That front end is way too small now. Kind of killed myself there. Let's get rid of some of this stuff. Go back. I lost the nuance of the front when I made it too small, so we're going to fix that. There we go. Maybe make it angled a little bit. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Maybe put a little kind of a windshield up here. I want enough of the bus to come through that it looks like the front of a bus, but I don't want to overload the design with the bus itself. I'm throwing in just guidelines for myself to help me understand where the design's going. Deal. Let's actually make this back end. I want that engine to scream a bit more, so we're gonna make it much bigger. Yeah, there we go. I want it a lot bigger. There we go. One thing I always thought was interesting about airboats, I mean, I live in Florida, I see them a lot, and is the fact that they look so fragile. All right, too many lines. Don't crowd the drawing. There we go. Okay, too much, too much, too much. Too much going on. There we go. Okay. Let's look at that reference down here. And it's decent. And I want this, you know, I want the seats to stick up like on an airboat. You can see they're all out in the open. They're all rows of it, so it's destructive looking. It's dangerous looking, which that's what I want. Maybe he's got kind of a flight seat that he's ripped off of a plane. That's too big. The dude's really big. I don't want that. I want this to be a massive boat that's driven by, like, I want it to look huge. There we go. Making the designs all work, making the lines work together. want it to have an industrial look, so like it's welded or something. Right, good deal. Like I said, in these kind of drawing situations, don't be afraid to let your drawing get messy. And the squibbles don't have to mean anything yet. The designs will come later. I do know that they steer with this really long steering wheel. I never have figured out how they can get it to do what they want it to do. I kind of using the chair as almost like a lifeguard's chair, although the guy driving it probably really isn't that safe. So, and to save time, we're going to do this thing where I just take this and I'm going to just make the seats right here. How many did I do? Huh, okay. There we go. There we go. That looks like a safe bus, right? And I might have to cut this short tonight. My dog is just being a pain. So, if I have to, no worries. We'll just pick it up again. Next week. Oh, word on next week. And the week after, for Christmas, I'm probably going to pre-record videos and put them up instead of doing the live stream because it's Christmas and I want to respect your time. So I don't expect you guys to show up to my live stream or anything like that. I'm just saying that now. Not going to have a live stream for the next 2 weeks. They'll be just pre-recorded. There we go. Okay. Maybe he's got a racing number that he ripped off of a race car or something. He's put it on the side of it. And it's got flames like painted. But I do like this kind of scribbly quality that's back here. And I'm using the newsprint brush that I told you about a few weeks ago. Let's extend this out a little bit so this has got a place to go. Alrighty, let's bring the size down a little bit, and then I can really maybe work on a huge directional blade or something if we want to put one in. Yeah, maybe it's connected by this dealy job right here. Maybe it's twins. Maybe there's one on each side of the engine, but you're looking at profile, so it looks like there's just one. Yeah, this thing does not look safe at all, but that's the point. And here's where we could, as a design, like this thing is made up of like welded metal pieces, and it's been fixed a bunch of times, or riveted pieces. You know, if it was colored, I'd make it rusty. I'm liking the way this is going. It's a lot of little tiny details that are kind of fun to watch. Do a little bit of shading on it as soon as my dog decides to shut up. And he's being a pain out there right now. I will say too, I did Spooky Empire this last weekend. It was really successful. It was my first con that I've been able to do all year, my first convention. As soon as I had that one, I had another one cancel. I usually do one in Memphis, my hometown, and it canceled for next March. So no Memphis this next year, unfortunately. I'm not liking the way the shape is taken on that. Yeah, let's get rid of this. I'm not liking that piece right there. Not liking those pieces at all. Let's get rid of this. All right, let's go back up here. Take this back down. There we go. And this is defying the laws of, there's no way something this size would work like this. There's absolutely no way. It's just too big. But it's a cartoon, and I can get away with stuff that goes against the laws of physics. Oh, also too, you'll be seeing some kind of really cool like midweek stuff pop up. I'm going to be putting up little time-lapse videos of different things that I'm working on. They added time-lapse to Clip Studio Paint, so I can do time-lapse videos very quickly. They had it in Procreate for iPad, and I don't like Procreate. A lot of artists swear by it on iPad. I don't like it. I love the full version of Clip Studio. You can get on there. I've got everything here on there, and it works better for me. I am not a fan of Procreate. Maybe there's a little toolbox right here. But yeah, I'm not a big Procreate fan. I tried it, I have it, I never use it. I don't like the pencil, the brushes at all. I'm not a fan. Can't make them work for me. It's something about the way it feels. I'm just not. I'm over it. For right now, I'll just put Camp Zombie on the side of it. because I don't know what the name of the camp is going to be yet. Big billowy smoke coming out of there. Needless to say, this exhaust system is not environmentally friendly. That's okay. Now, of course, the iconic, some of the iconic things you have on a school bus you can't put on this, like the door that opens up like accordion style and all that. You got to forgo some things. You just hopefully have to have enough of it. Like this would be like kind of a real dull yellow color that he's painted it for the camp. You know. Little the camp logo right there. Now I can throw in some darker color and emphasize some things that I want to emphasize. Or maybe he does. Maybe instead of that, the control stick that you'd normally see, maybe he does have a steering wheel. Maybe it's a big old bus steering wheel. It'd be kind of fun. With like a throttle that's a lever. Like, he pushes forward with a throttle and he still controls it like this, so that'd be kind of cool. And even more dangerous. But you can kind of see him sitting there, kind of leaning back on this thing and reversing and forwarding and with a steering wheel like this. And he's all calm and everything as he takes these really tight turns in the water, and there's alligators all around. The kids are screaming. And the kids that are cool anyway would be having fun, and they'd be really enjoying it, and the kids would normally be kind of mean or something like that would be the ones screaming their head off and terrified. It'd be a really great moment. But if it doesn't work in silhouette, it doesn't work in profile or in silhouette, it won't work in 3 dimensions. It just won't. Not for what I'm designing here. When I worked at Disney doing caricatures and portraits, we had to draw in profile, and you don't know what you look like in profile. That was the biggest problem we had when I worked there in '96, was that at the time we were only doing profile drawings in pastel. Now they do 3/4 view. But it's so hard for people to realize what they look like Yeah, this is kind of fun. Now what I'll do is maybe in one of the pre-recorded ones for next week, I'll take this and then I'll do the tight sketch. I'll actually take this loosey-goosey drawing and I'll lower the opacity like this and actually do a decent profile sketch that's still sketchy but clean, like Vinny is. He's still sketchy, but he's got clean lines in the right places. It's selective clean lines. Um, you know, you can only imagine what the actual like boathouse or kind of garage kind of thing would look like where this is being you know stored and maintained. But yeah, maybe the jet engine is a turbo boost or something like that, like when he really wants to haul, and most of the time he uses the fan. Or maybe the exhaust is back here and I get rid of these. It's or I change the shape of this so it's not a jet engine. There's so many ways I could go with this. Right now it's kind of a hodgepodge of different ideas, and I'm going to narrow down the ones that I really like and the ones that I don't and get rid of them. And I don't want to lose sight of the fact that the characters are these very big basic shapes, and maybe I've overcomplicated this enough. Maybe I take and scale it back a little bit and give it more of an overall basic shape. I mean, obviously it's a triangle, and we discussed a couple sessions ago that the triangle represents, sharp angles and something that's a little bit dangerous and things like that when it comes to character design. A lot of villains have those angles. Heroes do too, but the villains use them more effectively in a lot of designs. And I don't want the boat to be villainous, but I do want it to look dangerous. So I'll be playing more with those sharp angles, and maybe I get rid of this curve because I'm not, maybe I go for. I suggest the curve with straight lines and edges. It's not curved, but it's got an arc, a rough arc shape to it. And some of these little scratches and stuff I'm putting here, I don't know what they do, but they're fun to do. They're fun to draw. I mean, I don't know what meaning they have yet. Maybe one of the kids asked Slider, how fast does this airboat go? And he gives him some ridiculously strange like measurement of something he made up, as you do. Sorry, I had the volume on the. I'm listening to the recording this as it's going and making sure everything's going okay. Now, it's fairly messy. I don't want to add a whole lot more lines to it, but I'll start a little bit on the tight drawing of it. Alright, so let's change my tool. Go to a rough pencil tool, that's good. That's what I use for a lot of drawings. Two shape. A little too big. There we go. And it's got these kind of stacks going on here for the top exhaust. Maybe they're all sticking straight up. I had them at an angle in my head, but maybe this works better. Like I said, loose lines but purposeful lines. Even the artist that draws super loose, and that's what he's known for, still draws purposefully. I don't want to get mired down in the detail either. I can do that real easy. Those that know me know I can get super mired in detail. We just got some kind of filter on the side right here or something. It's got a little bit of a steampunk thing going on too, which isn't a bad thing. I don't want to go too far in that direction because that's not the kind of show that I want to create. Maybe the bottom of it is solid instead of the lined thing going on. These are kind of like the exhaust fan of a fighter jet. And they kind of flex and open up as it goes into its afterburner mode. It's kind of a cool little engine going on right there. Kind of a rough little design. You can see I'm playing back and forth between white and black. It's just a way to cut into a drawing that I've already done in a really good way. Sometimes I think of myself more as a professional doodler than I do as a designer, because that's what we all do. We doodle, but we make sense out of it, and we doodle with purpose. There's some kind of wiring going on right here. Yeah, that'll work. It's going good. And I'll jump around a little bit. I'll work on the front a little bit. So I like that. I like the way that came out. Like I said, this is super rough. It's going to get cleaner as I go. Capture a bit more of what this looks like. Yeah, this is looking a little bit more like the front of the bus should. There we go. I'm trying to meet that. There it is, that line right there. A little too clean. A little too clean. Let's curve this back a little bit. It's funny when, even though down here the front windows of this old bus are straight, I want it to be a little curved. We put that center dividing line there. This is the other side of it. I need to hint at the other side even though I'm not showing the other side. And even though there's no tire, the wheel well is still there because he did something with it. Maybe it's got some kind of grill. Like I said, welded. Starting to look a little too pretty up here. Maybe there's some dents. A few years ago I had a project that I was designing an old tractor and an old farm and things like that, and I made that just the junkiest looking tractor you've ever seen, and there was a brilliant 3D artist that used to work at DreamWorks. They had come in and render the tractor in 3D and just model it, and it was just gorgeously ugly. I really wished at that point in time that I could do 3D modeling. It's just not something I'd ever had time to explore. I'm not liking that. I don't like that whole thing right there. Let's make it look like the cowling. This front really is like tacked on. Like that one. These are just exploratory lines. I don't have to keep any of them if I don't want them. This is cool. It's a cool little design. And that's all I'm looking at doing, is having fun and showing you that you can have fun doing this. I'll go for a few more minutes, but you can kind of see where I'm going. I'll finish it up in one of the pre-recorded videos. I think I'll keep it short. Really respect your time tonight. I just wanted to show you the direction I was going this time around. Yeah, that line's not working. There we go. That's the line I'm looking for. Sometimes I'll fight for a good half hour to find a line. This looks like something that he would get on and have fun with. You know what? Let's have some fun with this. Maybe the number that Slider took is number 13 off of a car, because that's his lucky number or something. Yeah, this is going good. Finish up this back fin and then I'll cut it short tonight. And there's my dog. My wife's doing her best to keep him quiet. Yeah, this is going good. This is much better. It's got a little bit of a chunk taken out of it up here or something. Maybe a little bit of rust holes. He's making a lot of noise. My apologies. If you look at the cages that the airboat blades are housed in, it looks, a lot like a giant fan that you'd have at your house. The blades are just bigger. I don't want anything to connect them in the middle. little too high up here. I'm going to shorten that and equalize the blade size. There we go. Okay. Maybe it's got some stuffing sticking out of the seat for the driver. And again, the lines are purposeful. They don't have to be accurate at this point still. I'm still very much like the character design section of it. They don't have to be super accurate. They can just describe in the most base sense what it is that I'm trying to say. But when they're not descriptive, they're not good, and I don't want that. There we go. Yeah, this is going good. Now I'm going to do exactly what I did before with these seats and just copy and paste just to get, it's a great way to just quickly get everything lined up the way I want on there. This, and I'll erase the pieces I don't need. There we go. Oop. Went one too many. Huh. Okay. Just like that. Okay. Now I'll knock it down. So it's a good start. It's a good start to kind of a cool, like, rickety, huge fin airboat, you know. Maybe not quite as crappy looking as I'm going to want to make it. I don't even know what these are, but I think they look cool. Maybe I have little life preservers hanging off the side or something. I mean, it's not an ocean liner, but it would serve the point. Oh, riveting metal into nothing. There we go. Now, a lot of what will come through here is the color to get the crappy look going. Logo at least somewhat right. Let's reposition that just a tad. Yeah, so we've got basically a decent start to an airboat. It has a little bit of what I want in it. I want it to look Frankenstein, and it definitely looks Frankenstein, so that's what we're going to work to push more of. I'm going to keep on working on this one next time, and I'll play with it a little bit more, maybe do some color next time, start playing with color, and maybe work on it a little between now and when I record the video for you guys. And flesh it out just a little bit more, maybe make some things bigger, some things smaller, you know, play with arrangements, and I'll do a before and after so that if I get something new done on it before the next video, you'll see it. So I think we'll leave it there this time. It's a little over an hour, so I think that's a good stopping point tonight with the dog in the background and everything, so apologies for that. So I hope you enjoyed it. I'll be, again, not focusing on character every time or props every time. I've got to design the whole world that all this stuff lives in, so there's going to be some environmental stuff coming up and more character stuff coming up, things like that. So I'll leave it at that. Pay attention next week. I'll preload the video, and it'll come up at the same time that it normally does, but it'll be waiting for you, and you can watch the whole thing at your leisure. So you guys have a great night. Peace out. God bless. Oh, and before I go, you can also go to my website, www.tkylgentry.com. There's a link to my store, so you can get all of my artwork in my store for Christmas presents. You can get them for yourself. They're all frame-ready prints. There's books, there's canvases, things like that. Canvases may not be able to get them in time for Christmas, but the prints, I have many of them in stock. So definitely go over and give them a look. You never know. There might be an art lover in your family that might have a lot of fun watching them. So anyway, now, peace out. God bless you guys. Have a great night.